Time now for your forewarned weather with Cedric Haynes.
All right, we've got this dangerous heat that's going to be with us over the next couple of days as numbers continue to soar as we go into the afternoon hours. Along with that, tomorrow we're going to start to add in an elevated fire threat here as those gusty winds return out of the south and west, combining with these hot temperatures. And if you're wondering about rain chances, we don't have any big rain chances in the forecast, but I am happy to say we do have a couple of isolated chances for parts of the state. As we look at those numbers out there right now, we've got 60s and 70s fairly widespread across the state, but got an upper 40s showing up here in Heber. We've got temperatures in the mid-50s from Logan over towards Evanston, but notice those temperatures still in the low 80s as you get down towards lower Washington County. That's going to be important because that means it's going to get quite warm as we go throughout this afternoon because you haven't cooled off much from yesterday's daytime highs. Mid to upper 90s up and down the Wasatch Front expected for us today. How about 99 in Wendover? Even over towards Elko, we're looking at about 100 degrees, 105 in Moab. And as we zoom in a little closer to check out some hometowns, again, about 95 in Tooele, 100 in Spanish Fork, about 96 degrees expected in Duchesne. Let's go a little farther to the south there on I-70, about 97 in Fillmore and also Richfield, 105 in Green River. We're looking at temperatures around 96 in Beaver, 96 in Parowan this afternoon, about 89 in Bryce Canyon, but 101 Kanab, and yeah, check out that 110 in St. George. That is not a misprint. It's going to be a scorcher of the day. In fact, for our friends in Lower Washington County and Zion National Park, we do have that extreme heat warning that's in effect. It goes into effect at lunchtime today. Continuing through this evening, that means temperatures are expected to soar so warm that they could easily cause some heat illnesses if you're out and about, especially working outside for long periods of time. So it's going to be very important that you stay hydrated. Of course, that's drinking, a cool cup of water every 15, 20 minutes, but also replacing the electrolytes. Don't forget about that because as you're out there in that heat working, you're going to be sweating tremendously and you're going to sweat out a lot of that salt. So it's very important along with replacing the water as well. Take those frequent breaks, as many as you can. If you can find free AC, that's the best thing to do. But if you can't, make sure you get yourself plenty of time in the shade as well. Clear and mild conditions out there to kick off the day, and a couple of scattered clouds beginning to try to build in. We've got a little bit of moisture that's increasing across the state, so you can't rule out an isolated shower or downpour across places like western Box Elder County this afternoon, but I think it's mainly dry for today. Now, tomorrow, I think, is a little different story. I think we're going to add in a slightly better chance of a few isolated showers and storms to the forecast, especially across north and eastern portions of the state as we see that moisture really getting squeezed out. Again, not widespread heavy rainfall, but the chances of some isolated downpours will be there as we go into your Tuesday, and we'll have to watch out for any potential isolated dry thunderstorms, which could cause some problems as well. Now, for southern Utah, I've got a little hope for you as well. As we get towards the end of the week, around Thursday into Friday, we get kind of this monsoon pattern that sets up again, and that could allow some of that monsoon moisture to sneak in, especially across the southern half of the state for the end of the work week. Again, not a big chance of rain, but the chances of some upper-level moisture sneaking in that could be squeezed out before drier air works its way back in as we head towards the weekend. So looking at rainfall totals over the next 7 days as a whole, not a lot of heavy rainfall expected, but you can see some signs that we will have some isolated showers in the forecast, and that's the good news here for us. Now, and one other thing we're going to be watching, as I mentioned, those gusty winds, a little breezy as we get into this afternoon, but we really ramp up those winds as we go into your Tuesday afternoon, and that's why I think that critical fire danger will return across the West Desert and Southwest Utah for tomorrow afternoon. But everyone outside of that, because we'll have those dry thunderstorms around, we could have some isolated lightning strikes that could produce some fires, so we'll all be under that fire threat tomorrow. St. George, 110 today. We'll cool it down to 108 on your Tuesday. We may get a little cooler into the upper 90s by the end of the week with a few isolated storms and a few more clouds. Then it warms back up for the weekend. The Wasatch Front, upper 90s for today, near 100 for tomorrow. And then we could see an isolated storm again today or tomorrow before we start to see cooler weather, at least back into the mid to upper 90s for highs for the end of the week into the weekend.